Here's what's going on in MMA today. No fluff, no filler, just the news you need. Let's break it down. We start today with Dana White finally speaking on the current mess at heavyweight. With Jon Jones's future uncertain and Tom Aspinall waiting on the sidelines, fans have been asking the same question: who actually deserves the next title shot? Dana was asked directly whether Aspinall should fight for the undisputed belt next, and his answer was about as vague as it gets. He basically said the UFC will wait and see what happens with Jones before making any final decisions, which, if you're Tom Aspinall, is probably the most frustrating answer possible. Aspinall has been knocking out top contenders left and right, and a lot of fans feel like he's being punished for things outside his control. Right now, the heavyweight division is stuck in limbo, and until Jones officially commits to something, it might stay that way. Former middleweight champion Israel Adesanya made headlines this week with a bold statement. Izzy said he still believes he has what it takes to reclaim the UFC belt, and that his current losing streak doesn't define him. He's set to fight Joe Pyfer soon, and a lot of people see that as a crossroads fight for his career. If Izzy wins in dominant fashion, he's right back in the mix. If he loses again, retirement talks are going to get very loud. Adesanya seems confident though, saying he feels refreshed, motivated, and ready to prove people wrong. Just a quick one. If you're an MMA fan who likes straight-to-the-point news, hit the like button. It takes 2 seconds and it helps the channel grow. UFC legend Daniel Cormier recently voiced concern about the lack of American male UFC champions, pointing out the scarcity of US title holders as the division landscape shifts globally. He named names, praised emerging talent, and emphasized the need for American wrestlers to reclaim dominance. Moving down to 135 pounds, the bantamweight title picture just got very interesting. Merab Dvalishvili recently lost his belt to Petr Yan, and now the division feels wide open again. Several fighters are already lobbying for the next shot. Corey Sandhagen, Sean O'Malley, Umar Nurmagomedov, and even Yan himself said he's open to an immediate rematch with Merab. The UFC hasn't announced anything yet, but behind the scenes it sounds like a #1 contender fight is being targeted instead of an instant rematch. Either way, bantamweight might officially be the most exciting division in MMA again. After his war with Justin Gaethje, Paddy Pimblett has been dealing with mixed reactions. Some fans praised his heart and toughness. Others said he showed massive holes in his striking and needs to go back to his grappling roots. Paddy addressed those critics this week, saying he's not changing who he is as a fighter. He admitted the Gaethje fight wasn't his smartest performance, but insisted he learned a lot and will come back better. Love him or hate him, Paddy knows how to stay in the spotlight. Another name starting to get real attention at 155 pounds is Mauricio Ruffi. After his recent knockout win, multiple analysts are calling him one of the scariest rising prospects in the division. He even called out big names like Paddy Pimblett and Conor McGregor, which shows just how confident he's feeling. The lightweight division is so stacked that it's hard to break through, but Ruffi looks like the real deal. Dan Hooker also spoke for the first time since his loss to Benoit Saint-Denis. Hooker admitted he made tactical mistakes in that fight and promised fans he isn't going anywhere. At 155 pounds, every fight is brutal, and Hooker has been in wars with the best of them. Don't be surprised if the UFC gives him another big matchup soon, despite the setback. A former UFC champion also teased a possible return this week, and it caught a lot of people off guard. Henry Cejudo hinted that he might not be done after all, despite previously saying he was stepping away. Triple C posted that he's still training hard and never say never when it comes to fighting again. Given how fast things change in MMA, you can never fully count anyone out. UFC lightweight champion Ilia Topuria has officially confirmed he's prepared to step back into action after his hiatus, which creates massive anticipation for his next title defense, potentially against interim champion Justin Gaethje later this year. Fans are buzzing about what matchup could headline next. UFC featherweight contender Movsar Evloev says he feared his career might be over after being sidelined for over a year due to a mysterious virus that affected his breathing and cardio. Now fully recovered, he's targeting a return against Lerone Murphy in London in March, aiming to prove he still deserves a title shot. This week, the UFC also announced UFC BJJ5, a standalone grappling event featuring top BJJ talents like Mikey Musumeci and Nicholas Meregali in title fights and standout matchups, a sign the UFC is continuing to expand into new combat formats beyond MMA. On the scheduling side, the UFC continues to stack upcoming cards. Several new fights were announced this week across multiple divisions, including Rob Font versus Raul Rosas Jr. big matchups at flyweight and featherweight, a number of ranked contenders being rebooked. The next few months are shaping up to be packed. And that's going to do it for today's update. Question for you: who deserves the next bantamweight title shot? Jan, Sandhagen or Umar? Drop your pick in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, hit like and subscribe for daily MMA news. And if you missed yesterday's update, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.